Yesterday, I haven't posted it yet. I'll post it today. But yesterday, I did a poem that I wrote yesterday, and it was fun. So I decided today that I wanted to look back at some of my poems, and it started bringing back events in time, sensations and experiences, emotions and states of being when I wrote the poem. Um, my mind and the emotional states that it registers is very fluid and fluid like. And so I travel in and out of, it's not, something strange, but can travel back to where I was at. And was just rereading a poem, one that I chose for today. And I was realizing I've always written poetry. Uh, when I was younger, what registered as correct poetry, that which I felt was worth the effort to write a poem, was love and the experiences that I had within while experiencing love. It was safe for me. It was very safe. So this poem came from a time when I had been through a very dramatic shift in my life. And it happened a few years after. This poem occurred in, I think it was 2007. I have the date. When I read it, I'll read the date. So it was a good 4, 5 years, 6 years after the great turning, the great shift. And I'd had all those years to read and study and comprehend and take in some information that helped me to better understand what I had been through and was going through still. So one of the books that I had read, Bornstein's The Image, A Guide to Pseudo Events in America, really was poignant at the time, especially the subtitle, Pseudo Events in America. I understood that we all had our own perspective and our own experience of things. However, I was also born into the conception that we need to keep it together. We can have our own perspectives, but we got to keep it together. We've got to have some kind of grounding rod that all of our energies can pour forth through and in to, so that we can accomplish collective tasks. But what was really poignant about the book was that Bornstein talked directly to the point that many of us experience events that are not true events, but they are events orchestrated for us to have and to be interpreted in such a way as we are told to interpret them rather than how we are actually experiencing them and what we actually experience in relationship to these events. One of the major players in this great turning of my life was a highway patrol officer who had made up false charges against me. And these false charges led to an estrangement, a severe, drastic, and complete estrangement from a relationship that I based my whole identity on. And that character in relationship was that of a father. And it was gone quite literally overnight. And it took me many years to go through the grieving process. And I still, on some levels, have not completely processed all of my grief in relationship to the loss of being able to play that role. It came quite natural to me to be a father. I really didn't know what I was doing, but it came quite naturally. And a great deal of how I identified myself with the world poured through that character and the role I was playing. And when it was gone, it was very difficult for me to process my energies. Not to mention, simultaneously, at the same time, I was going through an incredible physical disability, which was centered in my low back. And that just added to the mix.